Alright, so in this video, we're going to be going over the different ways you can set up the Hop Shop dual front servo set in order to give yourself more clearance for the servo horns. Let's get into it. When it comes to setting up the dual servo setup in the RC, what's really going to come down to is, are you going to be building a street hopper or a radical hopper? The reason is because the radical hoppers, a lot of the guys are going to be using the spacers that go in between the subframe and the frame rails, and that's going to adjust the height of the rocker arms and all this. So it's really going to come down to, are you building a radical hopper or a street hopper? And with the radical hoppers, whether you have the gear up or the gear down, it's not going to make as much of a difference as if you're building a street hopper. When I say gear up, this would be gear down, the gear on the lower side, and gear up would be the servo gear being on the higher side. So if you're building a radical hopper, you can go ahead and put the servos in the position that you prefer. Up or down really does not matter. But when it comes to building a street hopper, it's important to have the gear up, not the gear down. Then it's going to depend on what type of servo horn that you have. Is it a high profile servo horn like the Jevries servo horns, or is it going to be a low profile servo horn like these custom ones that I made? These are not off the shelf. But it's also good to take note that if you look at the Jevries servo horns, they're grinded down. This is because the two servo horns are pointing at each other essentially, and the closer you can get them to each other, the closer you can get them to each other, the lower the car is going to sit. So by grinding down the Jevries servo horns around the 10mm hole, this will basically allow you to sit those horns as close to each other as possible, and then in the end have the suspension lay as low as possible. This is a good example of how the setup is going to be need to be set up if you're going to run the servo horn, if you're going to run the servo gear on the top. Keeping in mind, this is the servo brace on the front side pushing the servos back. There's really two main options when it comes to how the servos go into the RC. First is going to be that gear up or gear down, but second is going to be how the servo brace is installed. Now you can have it on the back side of the servo horn tab, which will have the servos being the furthest forward possible, or you can actually put this brace to the other side of the servo horn tabs, which will actually move the servos about 5mm back, essentially the thickness of that brace. And by moving those servo horns back, they're going to give you more clearance to run a higher servo horn. A lot of people are running into the problem where they have a high profile servo horn. They want to run a street setup, so they have the car with the servo gears on the top, but they don't have the clearance to fit the servo horn. Putting the servo horn on, and instead of it being able to screw to the push rod, they're directly hitting each other, so you can't screw it in when you're basically banging into each other. If you want to run the servos with the gear on top and you have a high profile servo horn, you need the brace to the forward side. And if you're going to run a low, the servo gear on the bottom side with a high profile servo horn, you need to have the servo brace on the back side, pushing the servos as far forward as possible. versus are you going to be building a radical hopper? If so, you're going to have the spacers put in between the frame rails and the subframe, and this is going to bring the subframe down by the size of those spacers. Usually it's 8 millimeters, and that will really limit the travel range that you have with the servos. So you're not going to get as much up and down, but you're guaranteed to never bottom out when you're bouncing on those high radical hops. Without the spacers, this would be more of a street style hopper setup, which is the one that I prefer. And in this setup, we have a lot more range of motion for the wheels to go, the suspension to go up and down. It's, you know, it's not going to be cut off by the size of those spacers. So we have to have the servo set up in a way that is able to take advantage of that travel. Now, when it comes to the radical hoppers, it really can be put either way. You're not going to really have a difference between the upside or the downside gear. The way that the servo horns are put on, you're basically going to get the same amount of travel no matter which way you have the gear on the servo. So it's really radicals, it's not going to make a huge of a difference. But when it comes to the street hoppers, it's more important, I think, to have the gear on the top side, because the gear on the top side is going to actually give you more travel available to use all that suspension range that you're not going to be able to do with the servo gear on the bottom side. So I'll explain why that is. So with the servo gear on the bottom, the motion that we're going to be using, so let's get that in focus. The motion that we're going to be using to activate the suspension is going to be like this. So because the push rod is going to be very much level with the point it's going to push on in order to activate, so that's pretty much on a level playing field. So when using a 10 millimeter servo horn and a fixed push rod, it's going to lay pretty much flat like this. So the difference between the 2 points is going to be basically your travel range. So you cannot bring the servo any further inward like this, because the other servo on the other side is going to be pushing it. The furthest you can go to is going to be this point here where the two of them connect. So on that flat line, it's an extremely reduced amount of travel. And if you do the servo on the gear up with the servo horn pointing down, you're faced with the same restriction. The servos are going to be, servo horns are basically going to be limited by each other on this side here, so they can't really go down as much, and the distance between the 2 points is going to be the maximum travel range. However, if you put the servo gear on top and put the servo horn on the top side, when the servo horn is connected to the pushing point, it's on an angle. So that angle is going to increase the distance between the 2 points. So the 2 points would normally be this side here and here, but because it's on an angle, we have a larger range, which is going to actually push the rocker point and give us more range. So with the servos mounted on the top side, top gear with the servo horn pointed up, we get really full range of that travel to take advantage of the increased range in the suspension. And yeah, this is why I suggest, if doing a street hopper style setup, to mount the push rods like so. So if you're doing the radical, it's not going to really matter if you have the servo gear on the top or the bottom. You can go either way. If we actually compare the gear on the bottom side like it is here versus the gear on the top side with the servo horns pointing down like this, you can actually see that it's more level with the gear on the top side than it is with the gear on the bottom side. So this, even though it seems like it's a very slight angle, that slight angle will give you slightly more travel than with the gear being completely, the lever being completely flat. But if you're doing a street hopper, it's really important to have that gear on the top just to give you more travel range to go up and down in the suspension. And you may have noticed that I am running with the servo gear on the top and the brace on the backside, pushing the servos as far forward as possible. The reason I'm getting away with that is because I'm running a low profile servo horn instead of the high profile servo horn. So if you do have yourself a low profile servo horn that you're able to make down, the only reason I was able to do that is because I had a couple laying around and I cut them down and it just happened to work. But running the high profile servo horns, of course, you're gonna have to have the brace on the other side there to give you the clearance in order to do that. So in this picture, you can basically see that we have the Jevries horns installed with the gear on top. And you can see the brace is obviously on the front side, pushing the servos back so that you have the clearance for the Jevries servo horns. That's basically a rundown of the options that you have when it comes to mounting up the RC Hop Shop dual servo kit. And hands down, I've tried every dual servo setup that you can put on these cars, and this is the best setup without question. Hope the video was helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.